Welcome back to the Recast and Reloaded show. On this episode, we get to talk all things fishing with Hunter Crossland, an old pal of our RCRL team member, Hunter Hughes. Crossland is the man who has it all figured out on the water. With some of the most sought-out after lakes ranging over 100 miles from his home, he thrives as a nomadic madman from Midland who continually puts fish in the boat. As a part-time fishing guide, you'll get to learn about his favorite fishing tactics, most memorable guide adventures, and last but surely not least, a chance to win a trip with Hunter himself. There are a couple different ways to be entered to win this trip with Hunter. First, follow our Instagram account at RCRL Outdoors. Once you're on the page, find this podcast episode post and tag a friend. Each tag equals one entry. Another avenue is to listen to the podcast and comment on the Spotify, Apple Podcast, or on the Instagram post with something you found interesting about the episode. This counts as 2 entries. More information to come as we will keep updates on our social media platforms. Enjoy the episode.
I told him he's walking my dog down the aisle for me.
Dude, I better be.
Yeah,
Her and sis.
Yeah.
I gotta walk sis.
100%. They'll be there.
Yeah.
So your dog's a bird dog?
No, she's no, she's a mini Aussie. Yeah. I heard that's
Dude, she's the sweetest damn dog, though.
Yeah,
I mean, wouldn't hurt to fly. Does whatever you tell her to do.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
So it's your fishing dog.
Yeah, she fishes with me.
Just every time you go fish?
Yeah, even with clients, like a lot of clients that I go out with, they're like, "Where's Callie?" And I'm like, "Oh, like I didn't, you know."
Doesn't crowd the boat or anything?
No, she sits on the back. Sons, if I got people on the back, she'll sit like in the driver's seat or whatever.
Nice. That's what are you rocking? What boat are you rocking?
A Nitro.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long you had that?
My dad co-signed on it for me when I was like 3 days out of high school, so 18. Been rocking it since.
Been beating the piss out of it.
Yeah,
Had to rebuild it this year.
That poor boat, dude. It's rough. But I mean, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to justify getting a new one, you know.
Hunter will talk shit about it, and then he'll be like, "Dude, I just love it because I can beat the brakes off of this thing. It keeps going."
Oh yeah, it's been put up wet.
Dude, if you've seen some of the videos that this dude has of him running through trees and creeks and stuff at 70, it's like
Drive it like you stole it.
Yeah,
Drive it like you stole it.
Two lower units, and I guess we're on the 4th power head.
yeah, that'll do it.
But dude, it's got a ton of hours. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a guide boat, you know.
Yeah.
So, a ton of hours.
How many hours are you putting in a week fishing?
Man, like this time of year, probably on the water 5 or 6 days a week.
Nice.
You know, when I'm out of town working storms and stuff, obviously none.
Yeah.
But
But whenever before you got a little burnt out though, how were you still fishing 5-6 days a week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I mean, I wouldn't really say I ever got burnt out. I got tired of guiding.
Oh yeah.
But then you know you get away from it, you're like, oh, I miss it. Like it's,
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh,
It's there.
Yeah, I watched you spend like shit. It seemed like 20, 30
But now
grand.
now I feel like
Have
I
you got
have
back in
a
it?
little bit of clientele. Like I don't even advertise anymore, right? Like it's all just old clientele. So like I'm taking out people that I want to take out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people that I'm like I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
So
100%.
you know.
Well, yeah. That a lot of the guys I used to talk to and like still talk to, like they'll, because whenever like I got out of high school, I was like, man, it'd be cool just to be a guide and fish every day.
No. It's
Yeah.
not.
Well, like that's what a lot of the guides say that I know. They're like, man, you got to absolutely love it,
Yeah.
and then you just got to. It's your job.
It is. It does become a job.
Yeah.
It does. And I did it short term. Like I did it as far as full time goes. I did it very, very short term.
Yeah.
I got laid off in the oil field and needed something to do. It happened to be spring. It worked out, you know. Then I pretty quickly moved into roofing and insurance and whatnot. But
It's
still guide though. I mean, you know, especially this time of year, I'll run at least 3 or 4 trips a week, and you know.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
good side cash. It keeps me on the water. And, man, it's funny, too. Like, I've got clients now that I'm like, why are you in the boat with me? Like, you're as good, if not better than me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like, why are you here? You know, like, I just like fishing with you. And I'm like, cool, okay, let's go.
It still sounds better than Connor over there that has to sit on a computer damn near all day.
This is the first time I've been on a computer.
So well, it was funny whenever. So, what are we gonna how are we gonna differentiate the hunters here?
Oh, dude.
Whenever
Just by the
Crossland or
voice,
Hughes,
you know,
yeah.
I don't know if
He's
we
got a
can.
better
I don't
sounding
know if
voice
we
than
can
I
air
do.
that.
Y'all got the same laugh and everything.
We just call each other by the last name at this point.
Crossland.
Yeah,
Crossland.
Crossland.
Well, whenever Hunter said that he was going to have Crossland on the podcast. Me and Dakota were like, I wonder what trade he's in.
yeah, right.
Because
In a better trade than me, I promise.
Well, like, because I'm in roofing.
Yeah.
Hunter's electrician.
Yeah.
Then we weren't too far off. He's in roofing and construction.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Yeah.
So, tell us about kind of how you started fishing, started hunting.
Man, I guess I didn't like hunt or fish much growing up. My dad was like a hunting guide, and I went with him, but I had no interest in it. You know, I enjoyed going to the deer lease, but the actual hunting aspect, didn't dislike it. Just was mutual. I raced dirt bikes growing up. That's where my heart was at the time, right? And then, man, I guess like senior year of high school, I picked it up. We were sneaking into golf course ponds, you know, whatever high school kids do to have to go fish, right? So, and my dad had an old Triton forever. We grew up like we spent our summers on Amstead. So, you know, I mean, I fished. Like, it's not like I never caught a bass. I just...
Well, fishing on Amstead, you're catching some fish.
Yeah. And, you know, and so anyways, but I don't know why, man. I just started fishing the ponds and got ate up with it and was, like, begging my dad to let me take the Triton. And he was like, all right, you know, I'll go show you how to run it, whatever. That was, like, my senior year and jumped in with some, like, clubs around the house, whatever, and just got ate up with it. And so graduated, and he co-signed on the boat for me, and... Now all my money's went there ever since, I guess, you know.
Took all, that's awesome.
But yeah, no, like I didn't fish the high school circuit, didn't go to college, so didn't fish the college circuit. Just worked and fished bass champs and.
So you fish bass champs a little bit and
the localer stuff. Yeah, I mean, you know, nothing big.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, you guide and like that's. Would you say that's your full time or like roofing's your full time?
Oh no, roofing and insurance, 100%.
Yeah.
Like I haven't advertised trips in I don't know, probably a year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean it's the same 50 clients. Yeah. Well, me and Hunter actually talked about that today. I'm thinking about posting and advertising again, but then I'm like, man, I really like the clients that I take out.
I mean,
you know?
it seems like you're pretty booked too. Well, and that says a lot about like your trips, like those. Groups coming back, and fishing, and
man, and like me and Hunter talked about this at dinner before we came here. Like, I go where the bite's good. You know what I mean? Like the guys that come with me are wealthier oil field guys or construction guys. Like they want to go catch fish and drink beer. You know what I mean? Like they want to go and the fishing's good. You know, and so we'll hop around. And man, West Texas is full of like little gyms. You know, I mean, there's tons of like little 5,000 or less acre lakes that are just full of big ones, you know, and they get fished. It's not like they don't get fished, but it's, you know, if you Google Lake Fork bass guides, there's going to be a list of 20. Nobody Googles Lake Champion, Lake Fork Phantom bass guides, right? Like nobody knows where that is. Yeah. So, you know, it's local people.
A little niche.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
No, that's sweet. Yeah. What would you say your like home lake is if you would put a finger on it?
Man, like guiding wise, probably Phantom, Fort Phantom in Abilene. That's where I gained not popularity, but that's where I cut my teeth guiding anyways. I kind of spent most of my time there, but Amstead for sure.
Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram. Like, do you post some of those videos out there? I was trying to like dial in on where some of those.
Yeah. Well, so okay. I had another Instagram that had like 15,000 followers, but man, I sold it to a rod company, and so yeah, there was a lot more content on there. Facebook is really what I do more so. But
well, it seems like the kind of the common denominator of a lot of the lakes people fish nowadays are just the advertised lakes. Like, I mean, you look like OH Ivy now.
Yeah, well, man, and like my best friends are Hill Country Hammer, and you know some of those, and I don't want to go step on. And dude, those guys are I can't compete with that. Yeah. You know, I mean the money that they have and the equipment that they're using, and those guys are my friends. I don't want to go step on toes or not even saying that I'm capable of stepping on their toes, but you know what I mean.
No,
like,
I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, and I'll be honest, I don't want to go fight a bunch of people at the boat ramp for the 1 in 100 chance of catching a big one. Like I'd rather go put people on 6, 7, 8 pounders, flip in, and yeah, dude, it's hard to take clients out and go live scope, and I commend those guys that can do it, man. Like a lot of my clients can't hardly cast straight towards the bank, much less, hey, there's one 80 feet out, you know,
You
like,
got to put it right in front of them.
yeah, I mean, dude, it's tough.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's like the bed fishing deal too. Like, it's tough to put clients on bed fish too. I mean, if they can't even flip
Patience
at
and
it,
too,
like,
yeah.
right, yeah, you know, or
You've had your fair share though on Ivy, haven't you?
yeah, I fished Ivy quite a bit. I fished it a lot before it quote unquote blew up.
Yeah.
I don't really know that. I mean, it was never a secret.
Yeah.
People always, oh, it blew up.
Yeah.
It was always popular. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
It just got posted on Instagram.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everybody's like, oh, there was no big fish in that lake. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I fished lakes with 30 pounds and didn't cut a check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that lake has been good for a
Yeah.
while. So it's been good since it filled up.
What about that 43-pound bag you caught at Ivy? Tell us that.
That's a
story.
cool story. So 2 days before that, I got laid off in the oil field. Was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, freaking out. Yeah, I mean, that was like, well, I'll just go spend all my money fishing and figure it out. Like, you know, it's funny. Like, one door closes, another one opens. But, yeah, I'd been on some fish, like catching 20, 30 pounds, like a couple weekends before that, won a little club tournament. Told my dad, I was like, dude, just come fish. You know, like, I needed a day just with my dad, you know, just bummed I got laid off, you know.
Yeah.
It was during COVID. But anyways, yeah, me and Dad went out and caught a 43-pound bag. It was in practice, you know. It wasn't a tournament, but
Always win in practice.
yeah, I mean, it's one thing to do it during practice, another to do it during a tournament. But yeah, it's still 43 pounds. I mean, Dad caught his first 10, and then I followed him up with a 10, yeah, or an 11. But yeah, it was just one of those days, you know. And then we did kind of back it up though, because we won a club or a little jackpot. It wasn't a club, but we had 38 and won next
Golly.
weekend. So.
Back-to-back days or
No, that was Thursday. I didn't go out Friday, or I didn't go out to Phantom. And then Saturday I won the jackpot with 38.
So that's one of those like just weekends or like outings where just like everything like worked out.
Yeah, man, it was. I bet our second biggest five were like 35 pounds. Like, it was just.
Golly.
Yeah, I mean, it rare, you know, doesn't
Yeah.
happen. Will it happen again? I don't know. Maybe not. Just. And we were on fish, but they just bit that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like every fisherman kind of has their favorite way to fish.
Right.
What
I'm a shallow fisherman.
Shallow fisherman?
Yeah, I flip frog.
Yeah.
I mean, West Texas, flipping
Well,
salt cedars.
You just can't beat a fish eating a frog.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
my opinion.
Yeah, flip frog, chatterbait. If
Yeah.
I'm going fishing, I don't care if it's winter. I mean, maybe not the frog in the winter, but
Yeah.
you know, in West Texas, you can chatterbait flip year round. I mean, maybe it's
yeah.
not the winning deal, but you can go do it.
You catch fish.
Yeah, I mean, like when it's noon and I'm like, I've got 2 in the box. It's time to find the other 3. We're going flipping. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's what I like. To
I've
do.
always been that same way too, because it's like you're up close and personal with the fish.
Yeah, I like them.
And I've always had a hard time with deep fishing.
Right.
I just never got a hold of the electronics, especially that we have now.
Yeah.
But you can't go wrong with just sweet beaver and 3/4 ounce tungsten.
100%.
Just
Man, and I've really put the time in this winter. I would say I was okay with live scope, and maybe I'm decent at it now. Am I at the level of some of these guys on Ivy and other places? Heck no.
yeah.
But you know, I caught a 9 last week on scope, but I'm doing that on lakes that probably don't see as much scope pressure either.
Yeah.
These fish come up and eat it maybe 2% of the time compared to 0.2% of the time, you know, which is a big difference. I mean, those fish are hard to catch. But I've gotten better with it, but I still, you know, like if it's go flip or go live scope or do something, I'll go flip, you know what I mean?
Well,
So
I've always because I'm a little bit of a golfer, just for fun, and then worked the Team Roping World Series in Vegas. And you look at golf, you look at roping. There's handicaps.
right.
I'm curious to see if that ever is implemented into fishing, especially with
The live scope deal.
live scoping
Yeah.
with people that don't have the money for electronics.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you like you said, you
Yeah.
some of those guys that are dialed in with live scoping and just spend 7 days a week on the water.
Right.
I mean, you go to some of these tournaments, you know you're not going to beat one of those
Yeah.
guys.
Well, and I think it depends where you are and who you're fishing with. Like, I think guys like Josh Jones and like, dude, those guys don't care to fish tournaments. That's not
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah.
But you know, some of the tournaments that are like live scope tournaments, like we fished one about a month ago on Champion, little lake around the house, and my buddy Tristan blew it out of the water. 3 fish. It's a 3 fish tournament, 22 pounds. Like blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
and you know, throwing back fives all day. And I caught some scope, not near what he did, you know. But like, I knew, I was like, man, that kid's good with scope. I'm not that good. It's, you know, but there's an art to that, man. Yeah, it's tough, and I don't know. I have a lot of respect for the guys that are good with it, but I agree though. I mean, I think the guys that are good with it fade in the summer, or you know, a lot of the lakes in West Texas, man, they're shallow with no cover, and they're dirty water. Like, those fish are shallow. Yeah. They're on the docks. They're in the reeds. They're sticks, you know, whatever. Like Phantom, dude, those, I don't think I've ever caught a bass on Phantom deeper than 5 foot.
I've never heard of Phantom.
It's a mud hole. Yeah. It's a mud hole with nothing in the middle. Yeah. Like, it really is. You know, I don't know how much scope I've scoped a lot out there, and there's a bunch of hybrids, but I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think it plays less than what people think it plays. You know, and just because you have it doesn't mean you're going to go catch them. Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, because I'll be honest, there's like, dude, there's been tournaments where I'd put it up, turn it off, like, I'm going to the bank. Yeah. Like, I'll go cut a check. I'll be consistent. I'll look up at the end of the year and be consistent. Like,
we talked about that a couple podcasts ago. We were talking about how you can't just sit there and expect to catch fish, sit there and watch fish for 45 minutes and not catch one.
Yeah, dude, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when they're following it, they come up and they go back down. You're like,
you get real itchy.
Yeah. Dude, and I think the hardest part is staying on those fish, right? Like, like, especially on ivy. But I mean, you know, you throw something at them, they come up, they look, they follow it, whatever, but they don't bite. Well, you got to find them again. You got to like, I think some of those guys, like talking to Kyle Hall and some of those guys, just through mutual friends, dude, like, those guys are chasing those fish for a lot further than what we think they're chasing those fish. And that's impressive. Yeah. I'm not to that point. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, it turns into a hunt.
Yeah.
Like essentially.
Mean, you know, and I haven't talked to Kyle in a while, but, you know, just through mutual friends, supposedly he hunted that fish down for like 2 hours, staying on the same fish. Yeah, dude, that's skill.
And then
that's a skill.
Just setting up the right cast and just right in front of his face, and then you're not always guaranteed to bite.
Yeah, right. I mean, you know, and I've casted it some 20, 30 times and they bite, right? But stay on one for an hour or two.
I'd have a hard time with that.
Yeah. Well, not even just a hard time like mentally, but physically staying on that fish. Like, there's a lot of places they can go. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And fast.
Yeah. I mean, and I leave mine set at 100 feet. Like, I think that's kind of the standard. But, I mean, they can go 100 feet pretty quick.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
And like, it goes back to the whole conversation of just, like, confidence in fishing.
Right.
I mean, like, for you, you're confident shallow fishing. Right. Some guys are just confident staying on a fish for an hour because they know eventually they'll get it to bite.
Yeah, and they will. Those guys are good at what they do.
Versus taking the odds of that little bit of luck that fishing has. I mean, that comes down to that conversation too. Yeah. Fishing does have a little bit of luck.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Right place, right time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was tuning an A-rig 2 weeks ago. Or not really tuning one, just playing with just messing with it, right? Mm-hmm. Playing with live scope settings, messing around, and just swimming it over a bush, and it loaded up. There's an 8-pounder. Like, I didn't look at that fish. There was no skill involved. You know what I mean? Other than like, all right, that A-rig's coming over a tree, like, or it's like, you know, Champion in West Tech, man, the lake is just solid brush. Like, it looks a lot like ivy, just 0 to 15 foot, just a layer of brush. Yeah, you know, so.
Dude, Dakota, you need to go fish with Crossland, not me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about 0 for 6 on my last go around.
I'm about the
unluckiest there is.
I fished some of the lakes, you know, DFW area, and dude, y'all's lakes suck. Like, they're not.
Well, we would always say, like, fishing in college and stuff, we're like, man, like, these guys that just, like, live 5 minutes from Rayburn, 5 minutes from, I mean, Texoma, just, like, wherever, Toledo. Right. Like, we got Lake Arlington, like, trash lake, baby.
Yeah.
Well, we have trash lakes too, dude. But like, they're kind of good.
Oh, they're
you know, they're not kind of like, man. We've got some like little lakes. I mean, dude, you can't see 2 inches under the water, and there's freaking, you know, I've had 28 pounds and lost, you know, at some of these lakes, and like, don't even cut a check, which is like pays 3 deep in a club, right? But still, that means 4 guys caught something over 28 pounds, like.
Yeah.
in a 5,000 acre lake, that's impressive.
Well, that's the thing about lakes too, is like it could be a trash lake, but there's fish in there.
Oh, 100%.
And you just got to figure out how to catch them.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes that is just a small little color change, or just like picking something else up you're not used to,
or just a good day,
slowing down. Yeah, just whatever. Yeah.
Did you ever get into? So you're a shallow guy. You ever get into big swim baits?
A little, yeah. Man, I've done it. In fact, Clinton Benninghoff, the guy that like designs the Odie Hammer rods or whatever, he came out with me. He was messing with some new rods or whatever, and he stuck like don't catch me lying. It was either 8 or 9. I can't remember. He stuck a big one on a 175. It was cool. He'd never caught a swim bait fish, but it was funny, dude. It was like I can see the bait on scope. It's not far under the water or whatever, and this fish just rockets up and like the most it was just bizarre. And it just rockets up and eats it. And he's like, oh. And I'm like, on live.
Did that just happen?
On live, you can tell when they get it. Like, you see him kick up or whatever. I'm like, dude, he's got it. And he's like, he just like stutters. And I'm like, he has it. And he finally like.
In its mouth.
Yeah, It was like, he's like, oh. He really, it's super cool. It's cold, fish barely fought, but it was cool.
Like swim bait fish. I mean, once you catch one, it's like, you want to keep throwing it, but it just goes back to throwing something for an hour and not catching something. But
man, and a lot of our lakes, just the way they set up, we have some around the house that, like, you can definitely throw big baits, but, man, a lot of them are mud holes, like, and the stick-ups are 50 feet back to the bank, like, you just can't.
Yeah, but just like salt cedars? Or?
Yeah, it's a lot of salt cedars. I mean, that's probably 90% of what it is salt cedars, but, I mean, line throughs kind of play. Bigger Kitex might play something like that, but like the big glides and stuff, I'm not saying you wouldn't ever catch a fish on them, but is it the deal? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Glide bait's good locator bait.
Yeah. I mean, you can't even see the glide bait and what it's doing in the water here. It's like so. Yeah.
Kind of loses its purpose. And
right. Yeah.
Like versus like Lake Travis or like some of the Central Texas lakes.
Right.
Like that's what we would go do a lot. Is, I mean, like after class or during class, we'd go fish and. Like we would just go have fun with glide baits, and because you'd see some followers.
Oh yeah, you see them for sure. They're interested in it.
Yeah, but so big fisherman. Never. You are a hunter a little bit.
Shot a pretty good deer this year.
Yeah, I did, man. Like my dad's love is hunting, right? And my dad likes to fish with me or whatever, but he. I booked a hunt with Hill Country Hammer, my buddies Jared and Rick and them guys over there. And
that's a sweet deer.
Yeah, it was a 177. I was pumped. I mean, I'll be honest, I hadn't been that excited like in a while. I was shaking. I probably can't show you all the video on the air. There's some words in there, but Jared was with me when I shot it. Man, it was fun. I was shaking. I think he was just as excited as I was. So I mean, I'd shot some deer before, but they were like 110, 115 inches. Nothing like, I mean, it's good. I was happy with it, but I was younger and
Well, once you break like 160, it's like that joneses you up.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. I mean, it is cool. He came in at last light. It was the only deer left at the feeder, whatever. And, I'm like, Jared, that's a big one. He's like, yeah, that's the one we're here to shoot. Get your gun up. And I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. So it's cool. So, yeah.
So how'd you and Hunter meet?
Dude, how did we?
Because I don't know, man.
I heard a lot about you.
How did we meet?
I mean,
I don't remember
even know where we were at.
We met in Stephenville, but I don't remember why.
Oh, was it the Crab Bowl? No,
we met before that.
Man, I don't even know.
I don't know.
But he won't leave me alone since.
I know. Yeah.
Or either I won't leave him alone. One or the other.
No, I think it was me, you, and Brandon.
Yeah.
We all met somehow, some
Barnes
way.
was there
Yeah,
too,
Barnes was there too. I don't know. We all been best friends since, I guess.
Yeah. We met at Twisted J in Stephenville. Y'all showed up.
Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, so you're still in Midland, right?
Yeah. For now, man, I say that. I'm kind of everywhere. I was in Florida for 3 months this year, in Alaska for 2.
Chasing storms.
Yeah.
Stephenville every 3 days.
I fished a lot in Florida. That was cool.
Yeah, how was Alaska?
It was cool. Anchorage sucks.
Yeah.
Anchorage is terrible. But we spent some time in like Homer and like Palmer, Wasilla, and those are real pretty. But Alaska's cool. Real pretty.
You said you spent 3 months there too?
I was
Or
think
just
we
a-
did. How long were we in Alaska? I mean, Brandon went with me. It was like 2 months.
Man, I don't know, but y'all just
Yeah.
started sending Snapchats of random stuff, and then a moose shed. I was like, where are y'all at?
Yeah, yeah, we were there for a while.
And I think Brandon was just there to cuddle you whenever you
Yeah.
felt lonely. Cause
Probably,
it didn't look
yeah.
like he was doing much of
No,
nothing
he
but
wasn't.
watching you work.
He wasn't, but it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah.
For sure. It was beautiful.
So, as a guide, kind of like what do you get the most out of taking guys fishing? I mean, I know you said you got your clients.
Yeah, yeah.
I know-
It used to be trying to find a girlfriend, right?
Yeah. We got that down already. No, but
the girlfriend is in the room.
yeah. But no, I mean, man, like I said, like, do you have? Any guide would be lying if they said that they didn't have people get on their boat from time to time. That like, thank you, bye, but in the back of their head, they're like, God, I hope you never get in my boat again. Like, I mean, realistically,
Oh,
you know,
yeah. 100%.
there's probably some that'd be like, no, but they're lying. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the truth.
Different strokes for different
But man,
folks.
when you get somebody that wants to be there, you know, and like truly just wants to learn or just go catch some fish and have fun, whatever.
Yeah.
Man, I enjoy that. Like, if I could take the clients that I've took with me, you know, since I quit advertising, and take those guys out fishing every day. Like, if we didn't need money to survive, I would still do it. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I took Jason Sells, a client of mine, out. Was that Thursday? Last Thursday, I guess.
Is it whenever you posted that hammer of a fish?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Thursday, I
it
guess.
was Thursday.
Anyways, yeah, dude. I mean, that was just, we have a blast, you know. Some of my favorite trips are like with kids. Like, I fished a dad and daughter one time, and the dad was a pretty good fisherman. Another one of those trips where I'm like, dude, you've won a bass champs. Like, why are you fishing?
Great babysitter.
Yeah.
Y'all need
I'm
anybody
like-
to babysit
I'm like-
Hunter
I'm like-
Crossland
I'm
on the
like-
boat.
I'm like, dude, what do you? I mean, I should be booking a trip with you. You know, like, what are you doing? He's like, I just want to cool guy. I want to come fish. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I was like, dude, showed him how I'd been catching them, just flipping reeds, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we'll stumble into some big ones, and we did. Like, I think he caught some 5s and 6s, whatever. And I let him take the trolling motor, and I'm at the back with the daughter. And these are spawning fish, but we can't see them, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're just flipping. We're cleaning up behind their dad or her dad. So I'm flipping in, and I'm like, hey, like, if I get a bite, I'm going to hand you the rod. Dude, this girl had the stoutest, she's like probably 12, stoutest hook set. I have, like, laying it to him, dude. And I'm just like, I'm amped, bro. I'm having fun. So like I said, her dad caught some 5, 6s, like, whatever. He had a good day. Dude, she caught some, like, 3s, 4s, cleaning up behind him, whatever. Dude, she sticks a 9.
Oh.
And like, dude, you would have thought this girl just won the lottery. Like, she's pumped, dude.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
like, yeah, that's one of those trips where, like, you know, she's 12, so she's like old enough to maybe. She's not acting like a child, right? But like, I can tell, like, when we're going back to the dock at like 4, she's like, man, I don't want to leave. And in the back of my head, I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't want to leave either. This was fun, you know?
She'll never forget it.
Yeah,
either.
yeah, dude.
Ever.
I mean, that kind of stuff, dude. Like, I mean, yeah, I made my check for the day or whatever, right? But like, dude, I'd have done it for free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a highlight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like seeing that, and like,
Oh yeah, dude.
when it's like you look at so we'll get on this topic because it's always an important thing to talk about, is like just conservation.
Right.
But like, people talk about conservation in the aspect of like Texas parks and wildlife and all that stuff, super important.
Yeah, yeah.
But what's kind of like not forgotten about, but not emphasized as much as it needs to, is like conservation starts with the fisherman
Right.
or the hunter. And whenever you get a girl like that's 12 years old and having the time of her life,
Right.
I mean, just that quick trip right there. I mean, her dad, bass champs guy, like, he's sticking. Like,
Right.
But like the experience she had, she'll be able to take that and like talk about it for the rest of her life.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
She learned a
yeah,
ton.
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. You know, dude, and even if she like never like fishes like we do, like, you know, I mean, that'll be a cool memory. It's a cool memory for me anyways. You know, even if she never catches another bass, like, she got to experience it.
Yeah.
And that was cool, you know?
If if somebody's talking bad about fishing or whatever, and she's
Right.
just in the room, she's
Yeah.
like, no, hold on,
Right.
time out. This is what I did. Growing
That's
up.
why I
Exactly.
want little nephew and
Yeah.
nieces running around like McKenna and Tanner need to hurry up.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's funny is, and I'm sure y'all are this way. Like, when you have a big one in the well, right? Like, whether it's tournament or you throw her in the well real quick to get some pictures, you know, whatever the case case is, like, you almost hate to let her go.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like you
yeah.
got like a little kid, right?
Yeah,
And you're just
yeah.
but
But you love to
like
take
you
the
just
video
want
of
to
the
take her
swim
home
off.
and snuggle with her. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's a big fish, man, right? Maybe it's just me, but is that fish is just like, man, I don't want to let her go.
You just
you
want to
know?
sit there and look at it
But
for
dude,
3 hours.
that's how this little girl was, dude. Like I swear if she could have sat on the back deck with that fish and just like
Stared
played
at
with
it.
it like played with it like a puppy dog, she would have.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
she was fascinated by it. You
You need
know?
to bring a little kiddie pool
You
with
know?
you to fill it up
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
boat and
right,
then let him play
right.
with it.
Yeah, no, that I was like, dude, you know what's funny? We're the same way. Like I've walked a handful of like little club tournament bags down or whatever, and you walk it down, you're like, man, I kind of don't want to let that one go. Like,
exactly.
maybe one more picture. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think I got the angle right.
Yeah,
It looks
right.
too small.
It's not even that. It's just like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
know.
it's just you're ate up with it. You don't.
yeah.
They're just cool to look at, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's funny like to talk about that because like whenever it was this, because I started really fishing whenever I was 13 years old.
Right.
But we had this this membership out at this place called White Bluff at Lake Whitney, and I was like probably 9, 10 years old. And we like my dad, he would get a couple fishing poles, and like we would fish at a pond. I caught this fish, and thinking back on it now, it's probably the first fish I ever caught. It's like a 2-pound largemouth. Caught it, and I wanted to bring it home, and I brought it home. And like we were at Lake Whitney, and my dad gets like we dump everything out of our little Coleman cooler,
Yeah.
fill it up with water, and I just put it in. I was gonna bring it back to the house and put it in the little like kid pool we had in the back. But little Josh didn't know much about aerators.
Yeah.
Mounting the fish on the way home.
Yeah. Oxygen.
No.
What? Like.
that thing's on the wall in the Soroka household.
No way.
Yes, it is.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, like in reality, I didn't want to let that fish go.
Yeah.
That's like me with a drop shot. I mean, a 3-pound fish that I caught out of drop shot. I'm like, man, this is a good one. And I'm gonna take a lot of pictures of this one.
Yeah.
I hope to God I never have to throw a drop.
I'm
shot
just
again.
glad it's not
Oh,
just
dude,
me.
I love drop shot. I cannot. If I'm fishing deep, I have to have drop shot. I don't know what it is. I just love it.
I love
drop shot.
catching fish, but like I tournament fished a lot,
Right.
and it was just fishing like Lake Fork, for instance.
Yeah.
You throw a drop shot because you're trying to catch those unders,
Yeah.
and
I hate slot lakes.
yeah,
dude.
no, they
Yeah.
suck.
I don't fish tournaments on
Yeah.
Ivy for that reason. Yeah.
But like, you throw a drop shot all day, and you're sitting there catching fish. But whenever you're fishing for a tournament and you're catching these like
Right.
Oh,
17,
little bitties.
18-inch
Yeah.
fish, well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're catching slot fish, but then you're catching like 6-inch fish. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got to catch this for a check.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I haven't been big of a tournament fisher, so drop shot's fun with me.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's all fun.
But I
like,
get it because I mean, like me and my buddy Riker, we fished the Berkeley bass on Lake Fork a couple years ago, and that's what's crazy about a slot lake is you can get a $20,000 check for a 2-pound fish if you're in the right because it was $20,000 every hour, and there was guys leaving the lake with $20,000 check. They caught a 2.42 pound bass,
So-
and you're sitting there going, how does that work? Like, how is that possible?
So speaking of conservation, like I've always wondered this. I'm sure y'all have. I wish like for tournaments, I mean we're gonna throw them back, and we understand some are gonna die. Like that's the nature of it. But let's be honest, what the research we get and the money the communities bring in from these tournaments, like even club tournaments, dude.
Yep.
I wish like there was no limit for tournament, just your 5 biggest, right? Like they're going back in the lake anyways.
Right,
and I don't think as many fish die that is what people think they do. I
Right.
really don't.
Yeah, for tournaments, I don't think that should matter. honestly.
Yeah, I mean, or at least like even on the like maybe just keep the 14 minimum. Like I understand that,
Yeah,
but
that's
I mean
understandable.
like some of the slot lakes, like just a thought. I mean, I don't really think that's
I've never
ever gonna
thought about
happen.
it like that. Like because
Yeah,
mean,
just
you-
like a tournament exemption,
it's
right?
like you go
Yeah.
to a lake and I mean
That could be
5
one of the
fish, 5 alive,
handicaps.
and they go right back.
Right, like
could
how
be a
many,
handicap, like
you
you're
know,
saying.
Bass Champs, all the bigger man, they give you your weigh-in card, right? Or you know, they all do it their own way. But like Bass Champs gives you your card with your
Yep.
boat number, your weigh-in time, your check-in time, whatever. Like you know, if game warden does stop you, like, hey, I'm in the tournament. He's like, oh, okay, you're exempt from this. You know,
Huh.
like I mean, how cool would that be?
Yeah.
You know, because how many times on Fork do you hear, and maybe they're just fish stories, right? But like, how many times on Fork do you hear guys like, we threw back 25 pounds today. Maybe they threw back 12 pounds. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's happened before, right? Like guys catching fives or whatever that don't fit in the slot. And
Oh, it's happened to
Oh,
me.
100%.
right.
Yeah, you catching
right.
footballs.
So it's like,
right
did
in
the guy
middle.
that win really? Was he really the guy that won?
Or the luckiest.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Well, and that would be applicable for salt lakes.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you're fishing like 16-inch up, I mean,
right.
if you have 5 14-inch fish, you're probably not winning the tournament.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, no, I can.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That
though?
would be cool.
Yeah.
Like especially imagine the bags on fork.
Oh, dude. Ivy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I there's been a lot of like, maybe not at the big tournaments.
Is Ivy
right?
slot?
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. The
So-
smallmouth aren't. They're just 14 minimum.
So
but-
Dakota Slot Lake. Dakota's not as familiar with fishing.
No,
as we
you're
are.
hitting me with terms. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
take it in and
I-
explain right now.
You're learning.
So
and we're all learning.
So a slot lake is essentially you have a length minimum. So like for instance, fork is 16.
I don't know about fork. Don't catch me lying.
Fork is like 14 or 16.
Yeah.
And to what is 21
20.
or 20?
I think 21.
21.
So you can only weigh in fish under 16 inches, and you can only weigh in fish over 21 inches. So anything in
Okay.
between, which is really your most common fish
Yeah.
you're going to catch, you just don't get to weigh in.
So you got thrown back.
Yeah.
They do like a lot of big bass tournaments and that kind of stuff there, which is cool. Like those are fun to fish, but you know, I mean, not
Like
On
for
the other
instance,
hand,
one a year's cool.
well, like yeah.
Yeah.
Like for instance,
Joe Pool slot. Right?
Joe Poulos.
I watched a guy bring in on a working man's. I watched a guy bring in 3 pounds, and he won the tournament.
well,
yeah,
because
and
of
then
that slot.
some lakes, like I don't know if Ivy is now, dude. I haven't fished a tournament on Ivy in 2 years or more. But anyways, some are like 2 fish any size, like literally any size, and then you got to be over 18 inches, which I think is how Ivy is.
Really?
I think maybe I know there's
That's
a lake
worth
around
the
the house.
Google.
Let me look.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
almost
worth the Google.
I'm almost positive.
While you're looking that up, I'll tell you a story of a slot predicament that me and Jackson Hall got in. It was our last high school tournament together. It was on fork. We had 4 fish. It was like the last hour of the tournament, throw and drop shot, and we caught a fish that was like 13 3/4.
Yeah.
Chunk, under slot. We were like, this is great. This is solid. We got 5 fish. And I mean, you know, whenever you're on fork, like if you have an over, you're good. You're probably going to win the tournament, you're top 5. But if you have 5 fish and they're all unders, you got to have one pretty good chunk in there. Mm-hmm. We get to weigh in, and this has happened. I've heard a lot of people, like this happened to a lot of people, but it happened to us too, where we measured it out 13 3/4, get to weigh in, and a lot of people, their fish shrink, but this one just relaxed, and it measured out to be like a little over 14 inches. And then we actually got penalized for bringing in that fish, which makes sense. I mean, it wasn't out of the slot, but if we could have weighed in that fish, we would have won like $5,000,
Jesus. Well, how big's the penalty if you bring them in?
half a pound.
Okay.
Yeah, depends on the tournament.
Yeah, depends on the tournament.
Some are more. Some are like 2 ounces or something tiny. Yeah.
The majority of these tourney slots, or is it just
No,
Just
there's
not by any means?
Yeah,
yeah.
just certain.
But yeah, so Ivy's 2 fish just under 18 inches. Period. So I mean that it could be a 2-inch fish. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that you ever catch one that small, but yeah, and then they got to be over 18.
You ain't ever foul hooked a shad?
Well, I mean,
Talk about thinking you have a kicker when you foul hook like a Grinnell or like a.
yeah.
Oh, dude, that's
Car-
like
Man, I caught one of those like mud fit. What do they call those in Florida? I don't know. My buddy was with me.
Like bowfin or
No, it wasn't. Maybe it was, dude. I was
dude, there's like 4 different names for those types. There's
Yeah.
snakehead, bowfin,
Maybe it was
Grinnell.
then.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was. Dude, it was pretty big.
Yeah.
And like I had just caught a 9, like on scope in Florida, and so we're like, all right, cool. You know, like there's 2 more like off that. I'm gonna call them Tulies. I don't think they call them Tulies, but whatever they are, right? Grass. Anyway, I'm like, dude, cool. He's like, yeah, throw back over there. It's like throw back, like loads up. I'm like, dude,
yes.
oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
cool. And there's one more, right?
Yeah.
No, it's like one of the mud cats or whatever they are. God. He's like, "Oh, just cut that A-rig." And I'm like, "What?" You know,
Was that video you have on your Instagram? You in Florida?
with the shad down?
Yeah,
Yeah. Or tilapia. I think it was a shad, but
big fish though.
yeah, dude. So we got that fish in, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that's a 7. Like, cool." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, 7 or 8." Put on the scale, it was like, I don't catch me line. I think it was 9.99, like a bigger 9.
Yeah.
We're like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Yeah, dude. I guess it's that shad down its throat, dude." It was just it had a belly on it though, dude. And those fish in Florida are built different.
Oh, they
yeah.
got
You know,
shoulders.
I
like
understand.
hammers.
Yeah. Like, and I understand they're, different. I mean, they're Florida strain, whatever. But like, they're longer, dude. They're just built. Like our fish here are short, stubby, and just shoulders,
Yeah.
right? Like their
Just
fish
like
are
me and you.
Yeah. Like well, I mean, like that 9, dude. I mean, I didn't get the length on her. I don't ever measure how long they are, right? But like, dude, she just built like a tank.
Hey, sometimes length matters. All
It
right.
does. Yeah.
That's when you know you're fishing with a kayak fisherman. They measure every fish. They're
Oh,
like,
dude.
that's a 22
Yeah.
incher.
Yeah. Dude, and it's funny you say that. Like a lot of times, we had a kayak tournament going on Champion, they. And at the same time, it's like a little club deal. They're like, "Well, how long is that one?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. It's a 7-pounder. I don't know. How long is every other 7-pounder? I have no idea. Like, I can tell you if one's 14 or not. And that's about it. 14 inches, I can tell you roughly. But
Well, that's when you just get into different outdoorsmen because like
yeah, no, and that's
And
cool, dude.
that's
Some
what-
of those guys
but
are sticks.
that's what deer too is like.
Yeah.
Like you could bring in a 190-inch deer and they'll be like, how much does it weigh? And like that's how they tell if it's
how
like
much
a-
meat am I gonna
Yeah.
get out
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Yeah.
You just shot a 190-inch deer. What are you looking at?
No, dude, some of those kayak guys are special though, dude. And I mean special in a good way. I'm not big at them. Like, dude, some of those, because they got to break down an area, dude. Like, I've had some conversations with some that like have won at the like kayak level, like prestigious kind. And dude, like, they're kind of more hippie fishermen though. You know what I mean? Like they're more.
They're in the water with the fish.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like, it's not my thing, but it's cool.
Yeah, like my dad's buddy Eric, he fished. He actually started like the DFW kayak club, and they started doing tournaments and stuff like that. And every time we're at the lease, he has a lease right down the street from us, and every time we're at the lease, he'll show me like an 8 or 9 pounder, and he's just like, "Yeah, it's 24 inches," and I'm like, "That's an 8 pounder," and he's like, "Yeah, I waited, I ended up weighing it, but usually I just measure him and throw him
Screw
back."
the weight. What's the length?
Well, the thing on those kayak,
Dude, it could be 18 inches, which I know is like, you're not going to catch one that's 10 and 18, I guess. But like, 10 pounders a 10 pounder. Dude, I don't care if it's 18 inches or 35. Like, it's a 10 pounder. Like,
and the thing is, every picture, they got to put their hand over it with the scale right there. And I'm like, I would weigh that thing way before I measured it.
I wonder how much cheating goes on in the kayak tournaments. Have you ever thought about
there's
that?
all kinds of, now, there used to be a ton of cheating, but now they got to give you like I want to say Eric told me that they got to give you like a certain number every hour or so.
Oh, really?
And you have to put a timestamp on the picture
Oh,
and stuff.
okay.
Like, it's crazy stuff.
Well,
and you have to text it to them too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you'd think they'd have to get pretty good at it because it is just like kind of the honor system, but I mean,
which is cool, but man, not everybody's honest.
Right.
Well, what's the saying is like the biggest liars are fishermen.
Oh
Yeah.
100%.
It's like you see it over every
The guys that read through the rules
the
are
best
the guys
storytellers.
that are
The best
storytellers.
Yeah.
100%. Some of those kayak guys too got like $15,000 kayaks.
Oh, I know. They're like, you guys in your bass boats. I'm like, dude, you've got 2 live scopes on that thing. Like, I don't want to hear it. Like,
You could buy an outboard motor for the price of your kayak.
that's a 16-inch Garmin, dude. That's a $5,000 unit, bro. Like, I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't have a payment.
yeah, right? Yeah.
Or some of them, I'm sure they do have payments on some of those things.
Yeah, it's just
Then
funny.
they just pedal off and flip you off.
Pedal off and flip you off. That could be a shirt.
Pedal off, flip you off by Hobie. That Hobie could make some money off that.
No, dude.
I need at least 25% on that Hobie, please.
I've always wanted to get me one, man. Just go
Dude,
fish.
they're cool.
I don't want one rigged
Yeah.
out. Like, I just want to be able to like go fish some ponds, creeks, whatever.
They're cool. I mean, I had a Jackson Kilroy, and it was badass. It was before I had a bass boat. It was cool as shit, dude. You could stand up in it and fish.
guys as heavy as me and you like fish?
Dude, dude, you seriously could. But the thing is that I love that thing. I mean,
Our
it's
center
great.
of gravity's low, but I mean,
yeah. But dude, every once in a while you'd hook a good one, and you're about to flip out of it.
yeah,
but
right. He's running you down the pond.
yeah, but what got me was that kayak weighed as much as me at the time. I got it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I would get it out of the bed of my truck and pick it up. That thing weighed, I think, 100 pounds almost. So like being able to fish comfortably in a kayak, it's a big kayak. Damn near a boat at that point.
So I'm not gonna name drop him because he's a preacher, but anyway.
That sounds like a good story.
Trey Wiley.
Anyway, no, he's super good, dude. But I wouldn't say sneaking in. The pumper on location told us that he fished it, so we just kind of assumed we could fish it too. You know, a West Texas, oil field, just pond out in the middle of nowhere. It's like 30 minutes from Midland. Buddy had I think it's called a bass buggy or something. It's like the little like 2-seaters. Maybe it's a Pelican. I don't remember what it was, right? And he put like one of those little hand drive trolling motors on it. We're fishing out of it. I'm a 230-pound guy. He's quite a bit heavier than me. Like he's 300 something. Yeah. Dude, this thing is like going at an angle. And dude, he goes to set the hook and leans over in his chair on a 2-pounder, and I'm like flying towards him, and I'm like, dude, one of us is going in the water by the end of the day. And sure enough, dude, I went in a little pond out there on the whole field location.
Oh no.
No, I was probably 18 or so. I was young. Yeah.
The most dangerous part of kayak fishing is getting in the kayak, like, off of a little ledge.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You get too heavy on one side, you're done. You're getting wet somewhere.
No, I don't think I could fish out of one. I'm so used to being able to like move around.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
that one
props to
bad.
those guys,
Yeah.
but like,
Well, yeah, it's like, I forget. I think it was on like the Bilge with Chris Aldane. They were talking about like.
oh, they had that kayaker on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When if you had a tournament where you put like some of the elite guys in kayaks and some of the top-notch kayak guys in bass boats, like how would it go?
Oh yeah, I can tell you right now. Like, dude, just being able to like maneuver a kayak would be a learning curve, I'm sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
We've
stay on
got
the
power
spot that you
poles,
want.
buddy. We just like it's easy for us. Yeah. No,
Like
that-
the kayak guys would be like, man, I got so much water I could fish.
yeah, right. Well, they got to break down an area, and I mean, I guess if they decide to paddle, is that what they say?
3 hours per mile.
Yeah, a 2-hour.
fishing.
Well, yeah,
We got a 2-hour paddle to get to our hole. Like, buddy, you better make it count. Like,
I hope you didn't work out all week.
yeah, you got to
You're
break
not
down an
sore.
area. There is no. I'm gonna just fish down the bank on the way back. Like he's probably.
And wind.
Yeah.
Wind is a huge deal on
Yeah.
kayaking. Dude,
Yeah. We
first
can-
time I ever took that kayak out, I paddled all the way to the back of Lake Arlington, which isn't a big lake.
It's too much cardio.
And
dude.
the wind picked up, and it took me like 4 hours to get back to the boat ramp, and I was huffing.
I'd have sold that thing same
dude,
day, buddy.
Dude, I think it was gone within 3 months of that happening. I'm serious.
Yeah,
no,
not
maybe
for
not
me.
3 months, maybe 6,
My
but
ca-
I was still huffing and puffing.
My
after 6.
cardiovascular health would be a lot better. You know what I mean?
We'll start swimming at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just got talk about cardiovascular health. They just got done running a marathon. You ran 2, didn't you?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
ran
dude.
back-to-back weekends.
Dude,
Yeah,
So
me-
did Connor over there.
Connor ran one.
He ran one.
Yeah.
Heard he had the
I
slowest
ran.
time though out of all of us.
Dude,
All of everybody.
Connor was moving. Dakota, he was
I stuck with Josh till about mile 9, and then I was just like, I can't. Please God, go. And so I'm just
Dressing
trucking like.
a marathon runner. over
yeah,
there,
right.
too.
I'm
You should
cozy
see. You
right
should
now.
see his Tinder, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, those marathon pictures sent me from 0 to about 100.
Yeah. That's funny.
Like, oh, you're a runner. I'm like, oh God, yes, baby, I am a runner.
Yeah. I don't think fish pictures do the same for women. Like, I don't.
No.
Yeah, I
Like
had-
I'll send her pictures of my fish. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's a big one. And I'm like, it's a 9-pounder. Like, what do you mean? That's a big one. Like, you know,
Carp, okay.
it's different.
You just
what
say
kind
that's
of
the
fi-
hottest thing you've ever seen in your life.
What do you mean? What kind of fish is that?
All they
Like-
think about is, can I go with you next time and tan on the back?
right? Which is okay. You know,
Yeah.
if fishing's good, then it doesn't matter. But if it's not, I mean, got something to look at. You know?
Scenery.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shoot.
it's great to go fishing. Get on the back of my boat that I don't have. Immediately start texting all my buddies, hey, can I borrow the boat? I may have made a promise that I can't really execute on quite yet. But
I'll let her know after the third date it's not my boat.
She doesn't know. She just knows she's on a boat.
Yeah. She's on the water. That's all that matters.
That's funny.
Oh, shoot.
I took Kinsley fishing. I guess we fished Squaw Creek two or 3 weeks ago. She had fun.
Wow, you took her instead of me.
Dude, you
Since I
were
canceled
you
them.
were skiing.
Squaw opened back up.
Yeah.
How's it,
Dude,
how's it been?
I've only been twice, man. I went once. No, I've been 3 times. I went Saturday, Sunday, and then came back the next week and took her. I think we went on a Friday.
Yeah.
Busy, dude. There was a junior high school or not junior, just junior Bassmaster tournament or whatever.
That lake does not. It's not the size for any sort of tournament.
No,
Dude.
dude. You remember high school on that lake?
THSBA, there's floaters everywhere.
Oh my
Oh
lord.
my gosh, dude! But dude, there's fish everywhere, and they're all. I mean, I had 2 5s and 3 trips and a bunch of 3s and 4s. Like they're fun to catch, but
and that
you know?
that is the, in my opinion, that is the lake to fish shallow, and I love fishing shallow.
yeah,
like
dude.
you said.
I caught fish flipping. I caught bedfish.
Yeah.
I caught fish on a frog, a plopper, and then I just catch fish on a 10XD.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, bro. I swear
Complete
you
opposite.
could find the most nothing bank
Yeah.
and scope it. Dude, you don't have to scope it. You could just you could probably throw a shiny hook out there and get bit. That lake is stupid.
Yeah.
Like we went through.
A shiny hook for tilapia, especially on that lake.
I bet I went in 3 trips, dude. I bet I went through 4 bags of gambler stingers, buddy. Like we went through them.
Yeah.
So somebody that doesn't know much about fishing, what do you think a plopper is? Dakota.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm fucking stumped.
He's thinking of like a floating
You
turd across the
just
water.
give me your first thought. What's a plopper?
A plop. Some sort of something then. I'm lost.
That plops
That
the water.
plops
Yeah,
the
just
water.
something aligns with plopping
We'd
one way or
probably
another.
show you, and you would be like, "Yeah, you're lying." Like,
What are we talking?
This is a
you
rabbit
guys
trap.
remember when the
I
plopper
think
came
Josh is
out?
going to find
Like,
one.
Yeah.
I
I
remember like that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Right?
Dude, I've never caught fish on one. Ever.
Really? Oh, dude,
Ever.
they come unglued.
Is it that big old
When they
thing you
came
got
out,
before?
I bought 160 of them. I did.
Did
I
you
bought
really?
No, not 160. I bought at least 20 of them. I
That's
was
funny.
all,
Yeah, I've
all
got-
for them.
You know, I did too, and then I discovered the black one's all you need.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
then the rat. You remember when the rat came?
Yeah,
Like those,
I never
those
threw that much.
Mechanical
That
rat
Spro rat or whatever.
Yeah, dude,
they're cool, but
You know, I
never-
threw those every once in a while, but after spending $60 and losing both of them, I didn't want to buy them anymore.
Yeah, no, those are.
All right, here comes Josh. Let's see.
Oh, he's
There's
got
you a
it.
big old plopper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That is a plopper.
I was
that the
expecting like a
130?
big old boy. I was thinking you were talking about that big boy in the middle right
See,
there.
maybe that's what's wrong with my ploppers.
Yeah, and they
is
make
I've-
one that's
I've
bigger than
swam
that,
the
too.
smaller ones. All the
Dude,
ones I have
the
are half
big
the
one
size.
seems to work the best. Even the little
Yeah.
ones will eat the big.
Well, it's like
Well, what's the name of that guy in the middle?
It's a swimmer. Swim
this
bait.
is a
250. That's
Yeah.
a depth, isn't
No,
it?
depth's 250. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'll throw glide baits.
Yeah.
All these have been gifted to me.
Oh, really?
I really
Dude, that's a $250
Yeah.
bait.
Well,
that the one
Jackson
you
Hall
stole from me?
originally he gave that
Here,
to
I
me.
got
I was about to
picture.
say
That was a Jackson Hall
yeah.
piece that was
Yeah,
given to
pretty
me
sure
that
that was
somehow ended up in
I got it,
Josh to
dude.
talk about.
I got a picture from 2 weeks ago with that same bait in an 8-pounder's mouth.
So everyone that's listening, depth 250 is the size of your forearm, and you catch big old bass on it.
You know how many 2-pounders I caught? I say a lot. There's only been like a handful, but it's still, yeah.
And that's what's so funny about like throwing glide baits too, though, is like you are expecting just like 1 9-pounder and you catch smaller fish.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
a client from like, I don't know, whatever the date is, about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good looking.
Fun.
That's that fish I told
awesome.
you he like ate it, and I'm like, dude, he's got it.
Yeah.
Dude, he's got it. Like, real. yeah.
Set the hook.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, what's one of y'all's most memorable stories with y'all two together? Are we
Oh.
doing Hunter?
dude,
Is it
I
Hunter
don't know.
Cubed?
We can't talk about
I don't know if
No,
it's
just let
illegal.
loose.
I've
At
got
this
it.
point, the whiskey's flowing. Let it go.
Well,
Oh, man.
well,
I mean, it. I will.
well, she kind of knows that story, but
I mean, it started out. as him texting me with two of my other buddies and said, "Hey, we're gonna go get a hat at the best hat store in Fort
that
Worth."
story. That's a save.
Oh, well.
I'm glad you brought that one up.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
a better story. Well,
What
it's
were
not
you
a
thinking
better
of?
story, but that's a safer story.
Yeah.
That is a good
Safe.
story.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, we started off at Fort Worth. They were like, "We're gonna go get a hat." And they live at it. You live in Midland. They live in San Angelo. So, anyways, I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll meet y'all there." So we went and pondered around at the hat store before Barnes was too picky and left.
You get free beer at the hat store.
Yeah, free beer, you know, and
is there free beer?
if you buy a hat.
Oh,
They were feeding me and
I was
Josh
gonna
beer.
say, what are we doing?
Because we walked in and bought 3 hats, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Well, this is the most expensive beer I've ever bought."
Yeah, literally.
Jeez.
And then we ended up going to the gas station, filling up the truck, and they pull up next to me. They're like, "Hey, we're going to Abilene, and we're gonna go shoot pigs tonight." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Don't be telling me that stuff." And he's like, "Yeah, you're going." He's like, "No, I'm not."
I didn't give him a
Yeah.
choice. I was like, hey, no, you're going.
Yeah,
Like,
and I had to be back at the house.
you had
the
to
next
work
day.
the next day.
Yeah, had to
Yeah,
work.
dude, it was Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and
had
I had
to work
go
the
to work,
next.
and I was like, "No, I can't."
Got
be
home
doing
at
this.
4 a.m, bro.
Yeah, dude, it was horrible. And
Most
anyways,
under thing I've ever heard.
yeah, dude, I'm sitting in Fort Worth. They're like, "We're going to Abilene." Cool. We go to Abilene. We eat at Hooters, and we're waiting on it to get dark to go shoot pigs. He's like, "Yeah." One of our buddies guides for this dude and lets him borrow all his thermals. It's cool. I'm in there. Let's go.
This is working out.
Yeah. I mean, using a $10,000 scope that I've never used. I'm in there.
That Trigicon's the deal, dude.
I mean, you can see a frog hair at 600
Yeah.
yards in that thing, and frogs don't have hair, so.
That thing is cool.
But yeah, we went out there and ended up busting up a bunch of pigs right off the bat. Right as soon as we pulled in, I mean, we jumped in a Ranger.
We
and
had, like,
drove
what,
50 yards.
The
and
4
we're
of us
shooting
shot
pigs.
like 8 on the first
yeah,
stand, right?
we got a bunch, and then
Yeah, and they were good size too. They were like 250, 300.
Yeah.
They were decent sized.
yeah, they were pretty good pigs. And then we drove around and shot some raccoons. But nah, I'm gonna leave
No,
that.
I
there.
got to stop that story. I'll tone it down, but you're not done with that story. So Hunter, I'm not super tall. I'm 5'10", 5'11". What are you, 5'2"?
I'm way below
5'3"?
average. I'm 4'9" and a half.
So our other, I guess Zach's pretty short, but so we only had three thermals, right?
Yeah.
There's 4 of us, but 3 thermals. So our buddy Hunter's pretty tall. I mean, I don't know. He's probably 6'1", 6'2". Anyway,
no, he's 5'9",
he not
you know.
No,
Don't
he-
give him too much
Anyway,
credit.
he's taller than the midget sitting at the end of the table. Like, the short guy. I mean, that's can't say that on camera. But
Before you
anyway.
go any farther, whenever you're thermal hunting and you got 3 thermals and there's a 4th man, being that 4th man sucks.
Oh,
It does.
Oh, yeah.
You're sitting there
I've
just
been that
looking in
guy.
the dark.
Well, so actually, Hunter Barnes, the guide,
Yeah.
Hunter Cubed, or
it's-
that's the
it's
third
Hunter,
Hunter.
yeah.
Anyways, he was cool. He let Zach and us shoot. It was
Yeah.
cool of him.
He just drove us around.
Yeah, he got enjoyment out of watching us shoot. But anyways, so we're driving around at this point, just looking at possums and trees, coons in the feeder, like whatever, just probably doing what we shouldn't be doing. Anyways,
We shot 10 coons before
We did, dude.
before we even started driving
Yeah.
around.
well, I think I saw it. So like I'm scanning, we popped the thermal like off the gun, and I'm just looking around. I'm like, hey, there's a coon in the tree across the field. I'm like, all right, so we kind of ease up on it, whatever. we set up, and Hunter has a 308. Mind you, like a relatively a large caliber for such a little man, and
And a little animal.
yeah. And anyways, dude, so the gun's on the tripod, whatever, and we're like, dude, he's right there. And Hughes is like, well, I can't see him, and I'm like, dude, he's right there.
Like, how are y'all
Well,
seeing this?
dude?
I don't see
The
nothing.
angle he was at, because he's shorter than everybody, he couldn't see the coon.
Well, Hunter, to make it worse, Hunter Barnes came around me, and he was like, how are you not seeing this? And we had the headlights on at this point. We didn't care.
Yeah.
And he kneels down right behind me, and he's like, oh, guys, he's too short. There's a tree branch in front of him. And I was like, no way. So he moved me back, and I finally saw it, and I was pissed at this point.
Well, and I'll put myself on blast. I'm asthmatic as hell, dude. I've got asthma.
We had
Fat
to take
kid.
him back to the truck to get his
Dude,
inhaler. He was laughing so hard.
I was dying, dude. We're all for like screw the coon. We're belly laughing at this point, dude. Like, I don't know. It was one of the things you had to be there. But
That's the title of the
funny.
podcast. Short man, big caliber.
Yeah, literally. And then I drove back 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
I
that
actually
was
stopped
fun.
in Stephenville, and then
I know. Before I got busy at work this year, we were doing a lot of shenanigans. I
Oh,
guess is what we
dude,
might
and then
call
you,
them.
And then you left, and
I
then
know. Me and
we
Brandon
just-
both left. Yeah.
That's one thing I always respect about you, Hunter, is you just never turn down a good
Yeah.
time.
Oh, never. I will never in my life do that. I'll be 50 years old. Hey, I'm sorry, boys. I'm in Wyoming for no reason.
I guess we've are that way, aren't
our
we?
whole kind of friend group is that. I mean, we were literally. Shit. You went to. It was 12 o'clock at night. We were all bored watching a movie, and we were like, "All right, dude. We turned the movie on for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We packed up, went to Windstar from Stephenville,
Oh, like us.
and then we slept in the QT parking lot. Were you with us?
Well, yeah. No. Well,
And then we slept in the QT parking lot.
it may be
and then
one of
drove
them
the rest
nights you
of the
don't
way
remember.
back.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Windstar has my name, dude. I
Oh,
gotta
no, I
quit.
can't.
I gotta quit going.
I have an actual problem. Like an actual problem. Like I lost $400 2 weeks ago,
I know, dude.
and I was sitting at the house bored out of my mind. I went to Windstar by myself. That's
Yeah.
not supposed to happen.
That's, that's an issue.
That's a problem.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I only lost $100, but once I got there, I was like, this is an actual problem. Like,
I
Dude,
never.
I'm like that too, though, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's or like you ever entered a tournament when you're like not on anything and you're like, oh, maybe it'll just happen.
maybe.
every
just
tournament I've ever been on.
Like maybe I didn't get a bite last week, but I'm gonna go enter Brandon Belt next week. Like
Yeah.
not really, I haven't done that, but like, you know what I mean? Like
Fishing's a gamble.
dude, it is. Yeah, but sometimes it's less of a game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, all the crazy stuff that I've done, him too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
basically what
100
it is.
squared.
Yeah,
100 squared.
Trouble.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Bad deal.
Hunter, man, Crossland. What's your why when it comes to hunting and fishing now?
Man, like future wise, like is
Just
that
why,
what you mean?
why do you do it?
Why do you do it?
Why
Dude,
you
I
like
don't
it?
know. It's like drugs.
Yeah, it's like
It's hard to
drugs.
get away from.
Yeah.
Man. I don't know. And dude, I'll be honest. Like, I did not burnout. I think burnout's the wrong word. I think just multiple things in life got the best of me earlier. In 2022, about this time last year, and got tied up at work. Just life happens, right?
Yeah.
Like just life got crazy. Dude, I think I fished. I don't know, a handful of times last year. Just some work, just different things, right? But that kind of year off, if that's how you want to look at it, dude, it kind of lights that fire again, right? And dude, I don't know how many hours I've put on the boat already this year, but it's been a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
That's awesome.
I don't want to say it feels good to be back because I never really left, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But it was cool. I mean, I had a lot of like my clients or just friends that fish or whatever. Like, hey, like, where you at? Where you ain't been around.
There's that void without it.
Yeah, dude, and you feel empty. It's tied to your purpose, I think, you know?
I
And,
think we got a new title. It's like drugs.
Yeah.
It's like drugs.
Dude, it is, though, man.
yeah.
Like, it's, I don't know. It's I can't explain it. I don't know that
Yeah.
anybody can
Yeah,
explain
but
it. You know, I don't.
That's why I love that question.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
like it
I
really
don't-
makes you think about it.
It's open.
Right.
It's wide open.
Yeah.
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 I
But
mean,
that was a great answer, though. I mean,
yeah, dude, it's in your blood and it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, money wise, it's bad, but
Yeah,
but,
dude. You ever like?
But memories, it's great.
You ever like log into your tackle warehouse account or
Oh,
whatever, and,
my
you
Lord.
look at previous orders and you're like, God, I never used any of that.
No.
Like,
No, what's
why?
bad is when you send
I
it.
got on one buzzbait bite and I ordered $300 for it. What?
Yeah.
You know, or like, dude, I got on a little spy bait bite deal like not that long ago, right?
Oh.
And like, dude, I have caught 3 bass on a spy, and they were 3 big ones.
Yeah.
I ordered, I probably shouldn't say. I ordered $250 worth of spy bait, and I hadn't caught a fish on once. It's not really like quite the time of the year for it here. You know, it was a little sneaky deal that lasted like 2 days, right?
Clear water.
Right, yeah. Like, you know, sometimes you find that bite that shouldn't be there, but it is. And it was like a little sneaky special deal. Well, it went away like most of those kind of bites do. Yeah, I had like a little tournament coming up. Like, I'm gonna go hurt some feelings. Well, about 11 o'clock, I was flipping on the bait. You know what I mean?
Well, it's bad whenever you send a buddy a Snapchat of a whole, like a house moving box that was just full of baits, and it wasn't just plastic baits; it was hard baits, everything you name them.
Well, dude, you got to take advantage of those like Christmas deals, you know, or like McGee Outdoors, man, in Tennessee. Like some of the guys around Midland, you know, we use them, we get discounts, whatever. Super good, dude.
You'll never be broke. You'll never be broke.
Dude, you know how many times, like, when I was 19 or whatever, like, just getting started in life, you'd sell fishing tackle to pay for the next tournament? Right? Yeah, I mean, you ever, like, go through your swim bait box? Like, I'll get rid of that $250 here. I'll get rid of those Huddlestons. I'll pay the entry fee this weekend. Like, you're right? Like, I don't know if y'all did that.
I never did that.
I've been there before. And sometimes you're like, cool, like, you know, I won $600. Like, I'm good. You know, at the time, $600 is a lot of money. Yeah.
You want to buy this Huddleston right here?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the hub. Maybe the $250 though.
Well, man, where can people find you?
Man, I don't really do much Instagram. Mostly Facebook. Just Hunter Crossland. Yeah.
Reach out to us too, and then
reach out.
Contact with you.
I haven't decided if we're gonna advertise for guide trips or not anymore. I say that if somebody messaged me and wants to go fishing, I'll probably take them fishing.
If they got a 12-year-old that's got
the meanest hooks
fire
that
on
dude. Dude, and I lost touch with those people, man.
Really?
I hadn't seen them on Facebook.
Well, hey, if you're listening here,
reach
right?
out. Maybe we'll see it. Yeah.
What would you say about being our first giveaway? That'd be cool. Where somebody can go and fish with you.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We can do that.
All right. Well,
let's lock it in right now, Bubba. Let's lock it in. Yeah.
Well, we'll put together some details and everybody can have the opportunity to fish with Hunter Crossland.
Yeah, that'd be real cool, man.
Get you on a 10-pounder.
Cool. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Come
on. Any lake, you pick a lake, he's there.
We're not going to guarantee a 10. We'll
No.
guarantee the try.
No, but what's cool is you literally, you're not a guide at a certain lake.
Dude, I bounce around. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, there's some people that have something to say about that, and I've got a middle finger for them. But, like, I'm going where the bite's good. People pay me to put them on fish, not to struggle all day. You know what I mean? Like,
you were on Granbury, 2 months ago, and then you were on freaking...
Well, not Granbury.
Whatever it was.
No, that lake's actually good. It just has my number. But, it's, No, I mean, we can go anywhere but West Texas. Man, it's fixing to get good in West Texas. I mean...
You hear that?
You know,
we're giving away.
We're 2 or 3
Hunter
weeks.
Crossland, baby.
Hunter Crossland.
Yeah, no, we're 2 or 3 weeks away from some of the little lakes around the house popping off. Man, they're gems too, dude. Like, you guys need to come fish, man.
Oh, it'll happen.
Hey, they need to come to Barnes Lake House. We'll do a little guys weekend or something. That'd be fun on Hubbard. I guess Hubbard's not. I guess it's kind of West Texas.
Well, we need to do just an RCRL outing anyway. So
that'd be cool. Hey, we could do a big podcast there. That'd be cool.
Anytime I go fishing with Josh.
And then we could bring Hunter in on it too.
That'd be cool.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be
Dude, I take an L every time I go fishing with Josh.
Okay.
So I need a new
All right,
experience.
Yeah, we're cutting it right there.
So now we're on the third.
And cut.
Fourth episode. Thanks for listening.